Something that I talk to my mentees, my clients, a lot about is sanctuary. Finding a sanctuary, having a safe space. Sanctuary and the concept of sanctuary is very topical at the moment because of what is happening in the world. So many poor people are subject to horrendous bombardment with bombs all over the world. And so we think of sanctuary in relation to our physical safety, but we also need it in relation to our emotional and our spiritual safety as well. We cannot take those things for granted just because they are less tangible than the physical. We need it even more so when we're observing the horrors of the world elsewhere, the things that are happening to other people, our faraway brothers and sisters, who we can do nothing tangibly to help. Because it takes a toll on us. It can be taxing, it can be draining, it can be tiring. Because we care, because we're good people. But there's little that we can do. So now I feel more than ever, it's important that each of us has a place of sanctuary, a place that we can go into, a place that we can enter and know that we are safe, emotionally and spiritually. Why? Not just to be wrapped up in cotton wool, not to play it safe, not to run away or hide or anything like that, but so that we can learn, we can grow, and we can get the breadcrumbs along the trail, along the path, to show us what our purpose is in this life. I don't say I'm a believer that everybody has a purpose in life that's unique. I know that everybody has a purpose in life that's unique. But the discovery of such is for them to find. But in order to find that, the conditions have to be right. The environment has to be right. That includes having a place of sanctuary, having somewhere to go regularly, to ponder, to reflect, to be safe, to be at peace, to hear that still small voice within that guides, that leads, that nurtures, that helps us to digest the evils of the day. I'd like to tell you a little story about an experience that I had last year. It was in the summer of 2021. My wife and I were down in Devon for various reasons. It was quite a challenging time. We were down in Devon, and one particular Saturday afternoon, I decided to go to Exeter and visit Exeter Cathedral. En route to the cathedral, I walked past several, or should I say, I approached several protesters of different stripes, coming from different places, different perspectives, and they were making an awful lot of noise. Some of them were shouting at each other, some of them were just shouting generally into the street to get people's attention, some of them were banging pots and pans and drums, making a lot of racket, a lot of noise. As I spoke to some of the folks and got the gist of what they were talking about, but having done that, I then continued on my path towards the cathedral, and I noticed the magnificence of the place, how different it was to everything else, how non-functional it was in the way that it had been created. It had been created very deliberately, very ornately, for the purposes of something greater than simply fulfilling a pragmatic or practical purpose. When I walked into the cathedral, I had an unforgettable experience because behind me walked a mother and her young son. He must have been about 3 years old. He looked up at the stained glass windows and the ornate masonry and the artwork, and he simply said, "This is so beautiful." It was instinctive, just like that. There were no cues, there were no prompts. He just said it just like that. And I've got to say, it stopped me in my tracks. And I was trying to hold it together. I didn't want to get too emotional myself. But the way that he said that reminded me of what it says in the scriptures, that perfect praise comes from the mouth of babes and sucklings. And that was absolutely true in that case. That boy didn't have to think about what that place was. He went into that place and he immediately saw and recognized beauty. My question to you right now is, do you have somewhere that you go regularly? Doesn't have to be a cathedral, doesn't have to be a church. It might be somewhere in nature, it might be somewhere in the woods. But do you have somewhere that you go on a regular basis that you can say is so beautiful, where you go and you instinctively feel emotionally and spiritually safe? A place where you can hear that still small voice within that can help you and guide you on your way to find the next breadcrumb along your path, that you can follow that path. Because as you do that, not only do you find greater inner peace, but you are also able to learn in order to create something through which to contribute to others, to serve others. So as difficult as it is right now with everything that's going on in the world, and I know, I feel it as well in terms of the powerlessness that we feel to fix these things that we want to fix. Or if only they could do that, if only someone could do this. We can't do that. But what we can do is tune into that still small voice. But we've got to create the environment in order to do so. So I implore you, if you haven't got one already, please find a place of sanctuary that can be a spiritual sanctuary for you, where you can listen to that still small voice, where you can digest the things of the day so that you can transform the bad stuff that's happened, the challenges that have happened, and turn it into growth fuel, into learning, into energy to move forward on your path, so that the things which you can do, the people you can help, can be done and can be helped by you. I hope that's been useful. Please share this with anyone who else you may think finds it useful, and I wish you all the very best on your journey and your path. God bless.